after watching this film, I think I have to fear for my life, because if the future is any bit of indication of what this is, I need to stay very far from Switzerland, a place I want to go. Folks, let's jump into my review of Mad Heidi. Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the film Mad Heidi, which made its North American premiere this year at Screamfest 2022. Now, folks, this is in a dystopian Switzerland, right? And if there is any bit of indication that the world may be going in this direction, I'm completely screwed. And you know why I'm so screwed? Because I'm lactose intolerant. Now, granted, I love cheese, but I have to pick my battles here. But I got to tell you, could you imagine a future where if you were lactose intolerant, you were basically put into a concentration camp and you were tortured and experimented on, and you either liked the cheese or that was a wrap for you. And by the way, if you do like cheese, it turns you into these big, hulky looking people who can just go out there and basically become super soldiers. Because they're experimenting on cheese to come up with this new ultra cheese that basically provides troops for the Switzerland army. So here we go now. Ah, man. I just cannot believe when I watched this film. It's so crazy. This film is so crazy. So in the beginning of this film, a piece of cheese is thrown at the military, and then it's a mass murder. And I was like, what? Because it doesn't give any context to it. And I'm thinking to myself, like, wow, is that all it takes for folks to just be mass murder? Like complete genocide? Okay, what am I about to watch? And the beginning of that film really set a tone, because then it goes into 20 years later and they have lactose intolerant police. And I was just like, okay, yep, it's not going to work for me, because the moment that you are exposed to be lactose intolerant, it is your civil duty to report that to the government. And I will be fried, because again, got to pick my battles here. Not everything. I can't consume everything, you know? And don't get me wrong, I like cheese, but I got to pick the battles here. So anywho, this literally is the movie that my stomach will be in hell, because this film just goes off the rails. The consumption of cheese, the cheese torture, the cheese experimental procedures is I really cannot believe what I watched in this film. And by all means, to be very clear, they are pro cow against goat for context, because you have Goat Peter, who happens to be introduced very early in this film, who happens to be Heidi's boyfriend. And that's problematic, because before you actually figure out why that's problematic, it ain't got nothing to do with race. He's black, she's white, nothing to do with race. It's the fact that my man represent as a distributor as goat cheese, not cow cheese. Problem. And you know, he's publicly executed, and it's a wrap after that, because anybody who was working with him or buying from him is also in compliance against the government, or out of compliance with the government, which means that you are now an issue, which now is a problem for Heidi as well too, because now that she just seen her boyfriend just completely be executed, the government starts to go back, and they just basically, anybody who's around her that's a wrap. And she gets captured. She's considered mountain girl. She gets captured and she gets experimented on. And you know, she now is a prisoner of war, essentially. And now the scientists are testing, seeing she's lactose intolerant, as they're trying to develop a super ultra cheese. Which, while that's happening, she's also trying to escape. And the other folks around her, the other women that's around her that's consuming this cheese, is making them big and strong, like mini Hulks, but like super soldiers. And like they even wrestle. I did not know there was going to be a pro wrestling aspect to this film, but it was. And then I thought, like, okay, I think I got a grip of what this film is going to be about, you know. It's gonna be Heidi trying to escape, and you know she's small because she's not eating the cheese. She's gonna be the beacon of rebellion against her people. She's gonna get revenge for everybody, you know, until it becomes a completely different film. First things first, there's a combination of gore with a lot of blood and a lot of cheese, and those two liquids together almost made me Earl. What am I watching right now? It's just a lot of liquids is going around because the gore was overkill. Complete exaggeration of every bit of the brutality. It was so wild. I just loved it. And it's funny. It really, really is funny. Because as we see this innocent girl turn into this kick-ass machine monster, you know, during the second half of the film, it was a whole nother film. I laughed so much because there was so much unpredictability in my laugh. It was scenes I was like, I did not think I would laugh here, and then they just drop a bit of dialogue or something, and I'm just like, okay, that was funny, or certain things that happened. The laughter was just so unpredictable. You just did not know when that joke may just land. But as I said, the second half of this film, it turns into a revenge story, and it really goes beyond the point of any sanity. Like at any point that you thought it could like almost reverse back into sort of the tone of the first half, not a chance. And I loved it. I loved every moment of it. And now she does become the beacon of hope and rebellion against the army. And now she learns all of these combat skills, and she turns into like Xena, warrior princess, and goes out and starts kicking ass. Along with some other things that's kind of happening as well too. And I'm not gonna spoil that, but man, this film was entertaining. I laughed so much. I have to say that Alice Lucy, who plays Heidi, oh, she was special. The entire time she was special. From when she was sort of that damsel in distress. From the moment she was even just head over heels with Goat Peter and standing up to her grandfather like, I love this guy and I don't care who knows, you know. To the point her being captured and sort of tortured and frail, to the point she becomes Xena, warrior princess. I mean, she embodied every aspect of this character throughout the entire film. I just enjoyed it. And I gotta say, some of her foes, some of the other stronger women that she faced, the ones that were out here breaking bats, like there was definitely a baby bang in there. She definitely picked up Batman and was like right on her knee, broke this other innocent young lady's back. And there's a bunch of little different personalities in this film that I enjoy. So I did just enjoy the entire cast. So many other characters I could talk about here, especially like anybody, the evil cheese tyrant, like anybody who's played by Casper Van Dien, who again, this when you see this sort of evil presence to make cheese like the most prominent weapon in the world, it's what am I talking about right now? That's the film. But hey, I gotta tell you something that I really loved about this film. Last time, I was like, God, I like this. I could use a lot more of this, because this is completely hilarious and it's fun, and the possibilities of things going forward could just be special. So special to a point that, yeah, there has to be a sequel coming. They almost promised it at the end of this film. And I was like, let's go. I love the fact that they know that they want to tell more story here, because the ending of this film definitely gives you a very big sign that there's plans to go forward with two characters that I love to see what their adventure goes. So there's that. Folks, check out Mad Heidi. It's special. You're just not going to be ready for the foolishness of this film. It's so entertaining. Hey, but when you check it out, folks, jump in the comments and let me know your thoughts about it. And as always, stay tuned for more reviews very soon. Big gold bell.